This is your Bhagavad Gita through Sanskritam course structure. On the left hand side here, now the star is where you start. It's basically the boxes in green. They are the first 4 quarters. Now we basically covered the first 2 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. If you really look at the Bhagavad Gita, the second chapter is the most important chapter out of the 18 chapters, and so it is covered in extensive detail. And then in the next year, that is the next year, you start going into chapters 3 and 4. The first year covers chapters 1 and 2. See, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is that, you have these first 4 quarters. We go a little bit slow, make sure everybody is, on the bus. You're all able to come up to the same level wherever you started from. That's the intention the first 2 years. Then the remaining 2 years, you actually elevate yourself to a place where you're able to accelerate your education, accelerate your study of the Sanskritam. And therefore, the 3rd and 4th years basically cover the remaining 14 chapters. If you look at the Bhagavad Gita, if you have studied it before, really speaking, the main, teaching from Krishna comes in the 2nd chapter. So why we have another 18 chapters? Here is the answer. Arjuna, who is the listener to Krishna here, he is having questions just like we do. Krishna, you said this, but what do you really mean? Krishna, you said that. Why did you say that? So these kind of questions come up as we go through chapters 1 and 2, mainly chapter 2. So that is what is taken up in elaborate way. Out of the 18 chapters, the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita talk about you, as in tvam. Tvam in Sanskritam means you. So when I talk about you, it is about who are you, why you are on this planet, what is your heritage, what actually came with you at the time of your birth, what is going to be taken with you at the time of your death. This is all about the first 6 chapters. So that is Tvam. Then the second set of 6 chapters, it is going to talk about Tat. Tat means that. In English, it is that. In Sanskritam, it is Tat. And Tat is that thing that we call as the ultimate consciousness or God. Okay, what is that? What is that Brahman? What is the nature of that? In fact, during the second set of 6 chapters, Bhagavan Krishna also tells you how to meditate, how to do it properly, how to train your mind and body to enable this kind of learning and study. That's what goes on in the second set of 6 chapters, trying to understand what is God, who is God, what are his attributes, does he even have any attribute? Things like that are discussed in elaborate detail in the second set of 6 chapters. And then comes the third set of 6 chapters, where you have an equation. It is called Asi. Asi means you are he, or you are that. Okay, so basically you're saying the human being, or any living being for that matter, is a manifestation of that ultimate consciousness that we call as God. It takes a lot of time. Sometimes one lifetime is not enough. Sometimes it goes across many births and deaths and many cycles of this before you realize who you are. And when that happens, that is when you become liberated and merge with the Lord at that point in time. Otherwise, all of these things continue, like your birth, your growth, your education, your suffering, your happiness, your pleasures. Everything continues in each of those birth and death life cycles, and finally you reach that liberation point when you become one with the Lord. The beauty about this, somewhere along the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is asked this question by Arjuna. Arjuna is who? None other than each one of us here. We have the same questions, and Arjuna is representing us when he is asking these questions to Krishna. Somewhere along the way, Arjuna asks Krishna, "Hey Krishna, you are saying that I am going through all this maturation process, developing my mind and figuring out, what life is about, things like that. But what happens if I don't accomplish the end stage of liberation in one birth, death, life cycle? What happens to me?" And Krishna promptly says, it is not that you go back to square one. You pick up where you left off in your previous birth and continue from there on